She waited to know that my brother was okay. Can a person choose the moment that they die? I'm here to tell you, yes, they can. My name's Heather. I am a hospice nurse and end-of-life doula, and I took care of my mom who died last year after being on hospice for a year and a half. This is her story. So as a hospice nurse, I have seen many times where a person, when they're coming towards end of life in the last week or so, that maybe they linger. And the thought is that maybe they're waiting for someone to come or they're waiting to be on their own. There are different reasons why people seem to have this ability to almost wait until a certain time when they die in the way that they need to or want to. So in the case of my mom, she was unresponsive for 4 days. My brother and I sat with her during those 4 days nonstop. We slept in her room. My husband would come in. He would bring us food. The first 3 days that my mom was unresponsive, it just looked like she was sleeping. I talked to my brother about how sometimes people will linger, and so we decided we wanted mom to be able to die the way that she wanted to. So we thought maybe she didn't want me to be there. She'd been living with me for a long time. Maybe she didn't want me in the room. So I would step out for an hour or so, and then I'd come back, and my brother would say, "No change." And so at some point we decided, well, maybe she doesn't want her baby boy. Of course, he's a grown man now, but maybe she doesn't want her baby boy there. So my brother would leave for a few hours and then he'd come back in and I'd say, "No change." We decided maybe she wants to really be on her own. We didn't think so, but we decided to both step out of the room. No change. On the last day, my mom got really bad terminal secretions. I know as a hospice nurse, terminal secretions very rarely bother the person who is dying. They're very bothersome to the family and the loved ones because the sound can be awful. I wasn't concerned about me, but I was concerned about my brother. So let me step back and talk about my brother for 1 second. And we've talked about this, so this is no surprise. My brother is the fixer. I am the person who takes care of people. Fixer, taker care of. So sometimes when my mom was sick, we didn't always agree on the right path for her. Coming back to this day where we were both very supportive of each other and of what was happening with my mom, trying to just be present for her and talking to her as if she could hear us, I decided that I was a little concerned that the secretions might be bothering my brother. So I decided to turn and position my mom when I was alone in the room with her. And when I did that, I tweaked my back. And I cried out for a second and started sobbing. And my brother, he's a big boy, black belt in judo, he does BJJ, he's a big guy. He comes in and he says to me, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I was crying and I said, "I'm so sorry. I was trying to turn her because of the secretions and I knew it might bother you." And he goes, "What? I'm here. You could have asked me." "Well, I don't want to bother you and I know that it's upsetting to you." And he looked at me. This is the moment, guys. He said, "I understand now what you guys were doing and I'm at peace with it and I'm okay." And I was like, "You're okay?" And he said, "I am." And this was all done right at the foot of my mom's bed. And so we were hugging and crying. I said, okay. And so I stepped out of the room and I am not kidding. Within 1 minute, my brother called me back in going, "Heather, something's changing." And within 1 minute of that, my mom took her last breath while we were with her holding her hands. She waited to know that my brother was okay. She waited so that I knew my brother was okay. And then she took her last breath. It was so sad and yet so beautiful at the same time. People can choose.